Hello, and welcome to the final episode of Arklay Zoo. I'm Gamer5150, and let's go ahead and jump right on into this. So, the one thing, actually the only thing that this episode focuses on is my most detailed and elaborate build to date. Now, one of the things that you'll see towards the end is I actually do get it into Arklay Zoo, and I do get the foliage and the animals and everything set up, and that was the very last thing I was able to do before my save file quit on me. I absolutely am just in love with how this turned out, and I actually go back afterwards and after all this happened and realized that I needed to put markers where the paths and stuff go, because this is a 3-story build. So I do that on the new save file, and some of the things I'm not happy with. I wish I could recreate what I did once I got it into Arklay Zoo, but I'm really excited about this one. This is where all that inspiration from those other YouTubers, Delay Designer, Mike Sheets, Geekism, you know, this is where all that inspiration has led me to. And then the start of our next zoo, which is called Tall Oaks Zoo. It is the town from Leon's campaign in Resident Evil 6, which, yes, I know, one of the worst Resident Evils critically, but I was looking for town names. The one in Louisiana didn't quite fit, and there really was everything else was really foreign, which, yes, I could have done, but I wanted to stick with this kind of Midwestern kind of naming, you know, like Arklay and now Tall Oaks. Of course, if this one crashes, the new one coming up, I'm going to stop using Resident Evil as inspiration, because there might be something to that. But yeah, I'm always looking for fictional names. So if you can think of anything else to name a future zoo, future theme park, you know, anything like that, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. So one of the things that I absolutely love about this building is the 3-storied approach. On the bottom you have their shelter, which is where their beds are going to go and all that stuff, and then I put the glass there so that you can view into their shelter area. And then the top, or the second level, is the main viewing area and has one branch coming off of it and stuff, so you can go into a little viewing platform. And then inside you have the stairs going up and foliage and all that stuff, and then there will be another viewing platform that will go off to the opposite side. And I think it's just awesome. And one of the things that this will rely on when I replace it in the new zoo is different levels of ground. Because unfortunately the education stuff that I put on the 3rd story was not, for some reason, registering as properly placed, even though it was within the habitat themselves. It's just probably the viewing of the animals themselves weren't close enough. So that's something that I will have to work on later. One of the more difficult things that I've noticed, and I don't know, anybody that plays this game, please correct me if I'm wrong, but you've got these curved walls, but you don't have any curved trim. So that was, actually, this is my first attempt ever at doing something like this, and I honestly think it turned out rather well, especially for a first attempt. Now I get a little frustrated on this side over here because it's so, you know, different from the other side, because I do have that opening. And finally, instead of just moving everything, I just like, oh, screw it, and just double layer it. But yeah, I just, oh man. And then I don't even bother with the other side. I'm like, I am not doing that again. So instead, I put this trim up, which I think works out rather well. One of the things too is that I wish I could have gotten the trim to go around the sides like I did with, you know, this I don't know what to call it, those boxes basically. But you know what, it all worked out in the end. I think it looks beautiful. These steel beams holding the balcony, I'm in love with this build. Now ask me again in a month or two, I may not be as in love with this build. I may look back on it and go, God, I did that. You know? But it's so new to me, detailed and wonderful, especially once I get it finished. It's awesome. I'm sorry, I'm watching it as I'm recording this, and I'm just in awe of what I did, and half the stuff I'm just like, wow, I did that? Amazing. You know, like, I can't believe I did that. I actually accomplished something really detailed that's awesome. And you might not think it's all that detailed, but the hours, this took about 5 hours or more to do from start to finish, and I condensed it all into what, half an hour for you guys, and maybe even less, because as I'm watching this and recording my voice, I'm also writing down, okay, where can I edit, where can I cut, and stuff like that. Now I did that also with episode 6, but I only wound up cutting like 30 seconds. But episode 6 was short as it was anyways, because I knew I had all this footage to deal with. But yeah, and then this man, you know, had it not been for watching some of these YouTubers, I don't think I would have thought to just extend those lines. I really don't think I would have thought of that on my own. So a big shout out to all of the content creators out there. You guys are inspiring people left and right. I mean, look at what you've inspired me to do. So it's just, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I don't know if any of you are ever going to watch these, but you know, because I'm not going to be so shallow as to comment on their videos and you know, say, hey, come watch mine, you inspired me. I'm also way too shy to actually leave comments. I know I ask for comments from you guys, but I just recently started getting into the habit to make sure I like all the videos that I do watch, because I know the importance of doing so. But yeah, all right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to back off here for a minute and just let this run, and I'll be back in a little bit. Alrighty, so now we're getting into the placement of all the educational items, TV screens and stuff like that. One thing that I've noticed is that these educational things that you can put like the deforestation stuff on these screens and stuff, a lot of people that I've been watching, they don't change the colors like I do. Like I changed those leaves to red. So I kind of found that interesting. Now with this, oh man, these TVs up on the balcony here on the third story. This is what I was talking about earlier. But man, these builds, I just had so much fun building this, and I'm not sure why. It's nothing, you know, really special, but it's just stuff I wouldn't have thought of. Like I said before, stuff I wouldn't have thought of had I not watched other people, and just that level of detail. This is definitely upping my game, you know, as far as my level of detail. And I love these TVs. And one of the things that I'm definitely going to have to do is save those separately as a blueprint, because I would love to use those elsewhere and just change the color. And then we're getting into a little more of our lighting and stuff, and sinking these light poles into the plaster walls was just an awesome idea in my opinion. It works so well, and lining them up with the fencing, you know, usually people are just like, okay, I'm just gonna place this here, just do this, do that, blah blah blah, place it along the path, you know. But oh man, like I said, I'm absolutely in love with this build, and we're only halfway through this episode, so yeah. So, oh, that's what okay. All right, I wound up taking the roof off because I wanted a flat roof when you're looking at it in the interior. I had a hard time figuring out the lighting for in here, and I actually wind up you know, use those stone lanterns that you saw just a minute ago, but I wind up having to delete them later when I'm reworking this, because the angle of that slope wall is not the correct angle. That's a 4-meter angle, and actually it's a 2-meter angle that the stairs go up at. So I actually wind up changing all that. But I really had fun doing this, you know, this interior with the plants and stuff that, you know, it's kind of inviting as you walk in. The only thing that I wish I hadn't done, and yes, I do have to wind up deleting later, are these elephant ear plants. The pandas don't like them. And since this building is technically in their habitat, even though they cannot access the building at all upstairs, it still registers them in their plant thingy. Sorry, the words are just not, you know, coming out right here. So I wind up deleting those. I don't know if I think I put flowers down. This is all stuff that you'll see in the new zoo, because this will be the first animal that we place in. So I do wind up fixing a lot of this, and then here we go. Okay, here comes the fun part. I'm trying to figure this out on how to do a sign, and then I realized, okay, well, what about, okay, that's cute, and then I'm trying to find a sign. Here, now you're gonna see me type in some things and play around with it, and there's the surprise, me typing in the name Van Dyke. So a former client of mine, when I was a photographer, I photographed her first child's first year of photos, really, except for maybe a couple of months, since he was 2 months old, and he's now, I believe, 13. anyways, she suggested that I put pandas in. I believe, was the first one to suggest the pandas. So the sanctuary here is named after her. Now, Dylan, her son, is really into the big cats, you know, tigers, lions, stuff like that. So one of the things that I am planning on doing is naming one of the tigers in the new zoo after Dylan. It's such a cute, bright kid too. It's awesome that I really, you know, from afar, not stalkerish, but you know, like Facebook, and you know, because you know, Crystal and I are friends on Facebook, and you know, I've got to watch him grow up, and his sister, which I did get to take some of her photos as a child, but not as much because I was in and out of the company when she came around. But yeah, I bet you that the Van Dykes have a lot of my photography on their wall. It's awesome to stay connected, you know, to some of these people, and just, you know that you've touched their lives in so many ways. And it turns out too that we actually have mutual friends. One of my sister's best friends growing up, she knew from Girl Scouts. So I was like, whoa. Alrighty, so here we are, and we are now trying to place our panda habitat in Arklay Zoo. So here's the thing. I had something there to begin with. I built something, I had it all recorded, and I actually wound up deleting it. So if you look back on past videos, you might catch a glimpse of that area. And it was just a one story. It looked rudimentary in comparison to this. So yeah, but one of the things that I did not leave enough room for here was this side over here to get down to the viewing area. I had to come up with so many weird and different ways to do that, like, and finally, you know, settling on, okay, let's do it this way, you know. But this is not originally how I wanted it to turn out. One of the things that I also plan on doing coming up, oh, this was after all the crashes, so you're gonna see me save my zoo often, because this is what I was talking about in episode 5. I was placing these paths down for this episode here, this recording, and it kept crashing, and I was just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, you know. So I do wind up saving the zoo rather often. I love how these turned out. I wish I would have done it better in the new versions, but well, we'll see what happens. But this right here is supposed to be the main entrance in. They're just supposed to be the only entrance in. So I think now's a good time to just go ahead and let you watch for a minute, and I'll be back. Alrighty, so now we're going to work on the signage for the entrance, and oh man, this is one of the things that I am most upset about. This is one of the things that I did not save. Got plenty of screenshots of it, but I didn't save this build, and I'm so upset. And it's an easy build, so I can more than likely recreate it no problem, but it just turned out awesome, and this entrance itself just creates beautiful sight lines, especially once, you know, everything gets put in. And this is all it is. It's just, you know, the sculptures of the mama panda and the baby panda, the 2 panda scrolls, and the roofing piece. That's it. That's all. And now it's time to put the bedding in, and I do put some water and food down here for them, and some, of course, up, you know, top side, so to speak. One of the things that, if you notice, oh, here we go. Look, so I did all this off screen with these canopies and stuff, and I think they are just beautiful. And obviously you can tell that I put foliage in and stuff, but I tried to recreate this in a different way on you know, the other save file. And it just didn't turn out. So now that luckily I've got this video, I can just kind of look back on how I did this stuff, because man, it sucks that I'm gonna have to build it all again. But anyways, moving right along, and we're just working on placing down the stuff for our habitat. You'll notice that sometimes I pause. A lot of the times, you know, not just that I pause vocally, but here on the screen in the game, you'll notice just some pauses, and I don't edit those out because they're so short. But that's because a lot of the times while I'm doing this, I'm eating, so I take a break to take a couple bites and stuff. So yeah, and those education boards on the outside of the fence, those were downloaded from the workshop, and I will provide the link in the description below for those. I thought they were rather cool. I love the way this kind of floating garden turned out here in the center. I just, like I said, I'm proud of this build, and it just really sucks that I can't take you through on a live play. Anyways, we are at the end of the episode, so this is it. This is goodbye. Goodbye, Arklay Zoo. So, thank you everybody for watching. I really hope you enjoyed Arklay Zoo. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm Gamer5150. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.